Good morning. So, the message for today is a very, very simple message, and that is why do we exist? And there are three reasons why we exist. Now, the first thing is, I remember I was on the plane next to this young Jewish girl, and she was becoming a doctor. She was a bit spiritual, and she told me something which is important. She said, remember, you are a creation, right? I mean, it doesn't take a genius to realize if you're a composite of DNA and DNA is a code, we are a creation of God. Now, if I am a creation, that means there is a creator. That means that the creator thought to make me. So the question then becomes, what was his thought process? Why did he want to make me? So the the most basic um, truth of reality is that if I make you, there has to be some kind of pleasure I get from you. Now, one of the best analogies, everything that actually occurs is an analogy, a lesson in life, is of course from the creation of an individual. So if I have a child, why do I have the child? So obviously there's going to have to be some kind of pleasure interest that I have. Now there are different forms of pleasure. There's kind of biological pleasure. So you eat something, it sends some kind of chemical to your brain to say great, and sugar, it says great, great. And then there is if you want to call it psychological pleasure. And the psychological pleasure basically is the reason why we have a child, right? It's not a physical pleasure. If anything, it takes a lot of effort, but it's a psychological pleasure. And what is a psychological pleasure is that we take a pride in our child. And the same thing is, it says, Neitze matoi maisa yoda yispar. God says, the Jewish people are like the plantings, my plantings, maisa yoda, the work of my hands, lehispar, that I boast in, or I take pride in. So when we down here, just like a parent, what is the ultimate pride that a parent gets from the child? Is if the child is good. So instead of being selfish, he is selfless. So when we do acts of goodness and kindness, what this does is this creates a joy in God. Now, of course, it's our own joy as well because our soul comes from God, yet we have this challenge between selfishness and selflessness, between forgiveness and resentment, etc.